Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. I know it's been a while. I haven't been able to keep you up to date rather on the channel. I've been very busy this summer. I thought summer was going to be when I could make videos. Turns out exactly the opposite is true. I'm super busy and it is what it is. So I apologize, but now that we're getting into fall and the winter, hopefully that'll change. Behind me, this is the 2006 F-250 that I was going to flip. It had a bad EGR, fix the EGR, and I was going to flip it and sell it. Well, I was thinking about it, and I drove it, and I drive it about every week just to keep it moving, and I had a change of heart. I ended up keeping this for a business truck, okay? So I have a little parts business, tearing down engines and whatnot, and this is perfect, okay? Perfect truck. Transmission's in great shape, engine's in pretty decent shape, and I decided to keep it. So, I know what you're thinking. Oh no, he's already got a problem. Not really. I want to go in. I've been in there once to replace the EGR because I was going to sell it. Well, now that I'm keeping it, I would like to delete the EGR. So right now, we're going to do EGR delete, turbo rebuild, and I think that's it. So come along with me. I'll document it as we go along here. And there's plenty of videos of how to do this online, so I'm not going to make this a how-to. But yeah, I figured I'd keep you up to date and take you along for the ride. So here we go. Okay, so as you can see, I already got started here. I've got the air filter out. I've got the little intake elbow here out. I've got the belt. Anyways, that's where I am right now. This will need to be removed. The additional turbo, or the piping for the turbo, will need to be removed. The oil cooler, fuel filter, oil filter assembly will need to be removed. Turbo needs to be removed. And then we're to the intake. We can do the delete and we can rebuild that turbo. So it's coming along. I'm just taking my time, obviously not in a rush. And yeah, it's going well. So far, so good. So let's continue and keep to it. All right, so we've got the turbo out, as you can see, sitting over on the bench right there. So a few more things. I'm gonna try to leave the ficum in there. I think you probably are supposed to take that out. I'm not sure. Leaving that in there. I have to disconnect the EGR from the Y pipe there. Disconnect that. I need to remove this turbo pedestal before that. So turbo pedestal, disconnect EGR from the Y pipe, and then I think I should be able to unbolt the intake manifold and pull it off. So after that, I will be able to get rid of the EGR, and then I need to remove the oil cooler because I have to replace the screen. I never did that the first time I was in here, and that's a no-no, and I'm gonna fix my mistake now. So other than that, I'm trying to think. Oh, also we're gonna rebuild the turbo as well while we have it out. So we're almost to the reinstallation phase. Got to pull a few parts out, and then we're on to the EGR delete. So here we go. Okay, update time. I've got the turbo apart here, and I'm in the process of rebuilding it. Got the cover cleaned up here a little bit. So we're going to put new bearings on the turbine here, get this reassembled, and then over at the truck, I just put the oil cooler back in. I had it out. I replaced the oil screen, which I'll show you here in a second. I also did a little bit of fixing the wiring harness just to clean it up a bit. and I'll show you the oil screen. So you can see this is pretty dirty. This lies underneath the oil cooler, and yeah, that needs to be replaced anytime you're in that portion. You know, if you have the intake manifold off, you should go ahead and replace this. So yeah, definitely need replacing for sure. One last thing. So I was gonna do the EGR kit. I actually bought it, and I realized how big of a pain in the butt it was to replace the pipe. So I went and had my old cooler. I had the ends welded shut. This is another way you can delete it, and then this just goes back in place. No exhaust gases can go through here, and essentially it's a DIY EGR delete. So I've actually heard these are better in the long run than the other kits, according to Powerstroke help. So yeah, that's gonna go back in. I clean the intake up a little bit, but we're rolling. We're making good progress for sure. All right, so we're almost finished and done with this project. Got a few more things to shirt up here, putting the air filter on, fan shroud, intake, elbow. I'm waiting for a few new parts. I have a new serpentine belt. Well, I've got that off. I figured I'll go ahead and replace it, and a few other things. So it's almost ready to go. Just need to button it up and get it finished, and yeah, then we're all done. So let's get this done. All right, everything is back together, as you can see, and I just gotta actually tighten the oil filter and fuel filter cap. Other than that, it is ready to go. I'm gonna try to turn it over. I'm gonna skip the glow plugs so it doesn't fire. Just turn it over a little bit to build up some oil pressure. Get that oil filter housing full of oil and circulate some of that oil. So I'm gonna do that and then see if she fires up and see how it sounds. So. Okay, so update on the truck here. I got it started and it was running. I had no boost, and it was leaking oil everywhere in the valley. It was just pouring out. So actually rewind for a second. When I put that turbo back together, I noticed that the unison ring was not sliding back and forth very well on the exhaust side, or the exhaust housing. So that right there, I almost decided to put a new turbo in. However, I cleaned it up a bit. It was moving a little bit, nowhere near what I wanted it to, or how I wanted it to be moving. But I thought it was good enough. So, anyways, put it back together. Massive oil leak. It looks like it was internal and no boost. So obviously I put something together wrong when doing the rebuild. So I said screw it, and I went and just bought a new turbo, brand new Garrett off of Amazon Prime shipping, and $700 later, here is the new turbo, all installed and everything. So I'm sorry I didn't get a video of or more in depth of the installation, but I was pissed off and I wanted to get it done. So it's done, it's in there. I'm gonna patch things up and see if it's not better this time around. So here we go. All right, update on the greasy 6 leaker here. Put the new turbo in, much better. However, still a very large oil leak. So I took it all back apart, intake and everything. Leak was coming from the oil cooler, and took that off, and there's a big chunk of dirt that was sitting underneath it. So, total rookie mistake. Okay, clean your surfaces and clean your gaskets before you put them on. So I took it all apart. I've got a brand new gasket for the oil cooler, even though I don't think it was the gasket. I think it was just the dirt. But play it safe, put a new gasket on there, cleaned up the surface really good, got that oil cooler dropped in there. You probably can't see it. Oil cooler is dropped in there, ready to go. I'm gonna patch it all up, and hopefully this is it. Hopefully, it's been going on almost 2 weeks now that I've been working on this stupid thing. It was supposed to be a couple-day project for the EGR delete. Big mess. Granted, it was well worth it because I took the oil cooler out to replace the oil cooler screen, which was very dirty and should have been replaced in the first place the very first time a long time ago when we were in there. But whatever, you live and you learn, and it is what it is. So we're going to get all patched up and put back together and hopefully running by the end of tonight. So here we go. All right, here it is, all patched up, finished, ready to go. Oil leak is clear, new turbo is broke in, sounds and feels great. Everything seems to be good. So a couple lessons learned on this thing. First of all, replace the oil cooler screen anytime you are in the engine, you know, taking the intake manifold off. Also, when you're putting things back together, clean your damn surfaces and your gaskets. Make sure your gaskets are good and flush. Anyways, so EGR delete is complete and this thing is ready to roll. So the next step is to replace the door bottoms. I've got new, take a look here, kind of rusty. So door bottoms need to be replaced. I need to weld in new ones, fix some rust spots on the fenders, and then we're gonna do a bed liner on the bottom half down. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to have more videos on this truck here. This truck is next. I'm gonna pull it in the garage in the next couple of days here, and I'm gonna start working on a couple things, a tie rod, brakes, emergency brake, and so that's next. So again, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks again.